I thought I would talk a bit about awakening. But what it is, in a nutshell, it's seeing what's actually true in your experience versus what your mind is telling you is happening. So we take for granted, like your life as it's happened, the story of your life and everything that's happening. There's a sort of story that you think is true, and your mind will corroborate that story. But actually, it's not totally true. Something else is going on. It's not something else, it's actually the same thing, but in a way you could kind of say it's something else. There's a difference between something that's conceptually true and something that's absolutely true. So if you imagine a pink elephant in your mind, that's a concept, right? It's conceptually true. If you look at your hand in front of your face, it's actual. It's like right there in front of you, it just is, right? So you have a concept and you have actuality. And what awakening is about is seeing what's actual and staying with what's actual in your experience versus what's conceptual. And ultimately, it's about dropping all concepts, like let them all go, and what's left is awakening. And then when that happens, you actually see that then it always was like that, and there's only awakening. There isn't anything else, there's only enlightenment. It's the weirdest thing. It's completely counterintuitive, it's not logical. You can't directly tell someone what it is because it's not a concept that can be communicated. You can point to it. So when I said it's about seeing what's true in your experience, it's that you have a conceptual idea about who you are. So right now, you can, if I said what's actually going on, you would say, well, I'm a human being and I'm in a room with other human beings. And in your mind, you can kind of see it like a model. There's a room, three-dimensional model of a room, and there's people in the room. And I came here on an aeroplane a few days ago, and there's a linear time thing that's going on that you got here. All of that is actually conceptual. What actually happened for you was like a movie was playing on a screen. So right now, what everybody is essentially a screen, and there's a movie appearing on it from a first-person perspective. And what your mind does is your mind takes that and it turns it into a 3D construct of what I just described to you, but that's not true. What's true is what's happening. What's actually happening is your experience. Like right now, this, as it is what's true, absolutely true. This is like the hand in front of your face. Because your mind will be trying to figure it out, and you can't. This is the thing, you can't, it's not a figuring out, it's a noticing. It's a really subtle noticing of what's actually true in your experience. If I was to say to you, 1 + 1 = 3, is that true? You would say no. Conceptually, it's not true. As the maths in your head, as the symbols, 1 + 1 is not 3, 1 + 1 is 2. But if I was to write 1 + 1 = 3 on a piece of paper and show it to you, right? It's absolutely true. It's right there in front of your face. 1 + 1 = 3. So see the difference between conceptual and absolute. They're two different things. And you realise that you've been living in this conceptual framework. You've been living in Pink Elephant Land. And once you notice it, now you can start to look at everything. Then over time, gradually, the shift sort of happens. In each moment, all there is like a wide open space of awareness. Right? Like I said, there's just this movie playing, but there's a wide open space of awareness, and there's things arising in the awareness. If we look at what's actually absolutely true, right? Take away all the concepts, there's just this spaciousness, and within it, things arise. It's so simple, it's so obvious, and so simple that you miss it, because your mind will always try to turn it into something else. Your mind will always change it into a construct. The mind will always take a position. So it's like, I'm over here, you're over there, but that's also imaginary. If you really try to let go of all the concepts, all of them, just let go of everything, and imagine you have no memory, you have no thoughts, you have nothing, and what's left is enlightenment. It's the truth. And it's unknowable as well. It's like you can't actually know what this is because it's absolute. It didn't come from anywhere. It's not made of anything other than itself. It's not happening on a line of time. Time appears within it, but it has nothing to do with time. But the mind still wants to know what it is. So that's why, if we're all intelligent people. The more intelligent you are, the more difficult it is for this to click, because your mind is so trying to know what it is, and it so wants to figure it out And then you just have to see that it doesn't make any difference. The mind can do whatever it wants. Everything is exactly the same, except that something inside wakes up to itself. It's not an experience. Awakening is not an experience, it's a noticing. It's a subtle noticing of the fact that what you are is the aware space and not the activity that's carrying on. So the construct, you start to see it for what it is, but it doesn't change. And the other thing that's really funny is the behaviours don't change. It doesn't make you a better person. It might do, but you can be a complete arsehole and be awake. It makes no difference. Like, it's just the activity doesn't change, the personality doesn't change, it carries on, but something's awoken inside and is noticing the activity. You can never get away from the fact that there's only first person subjectivity. That's all that exists, there isn't anything else.